Hey, welcome everyone. It is 2025 and I am here to show you a very small preview of what's to come. This is my new set. It's not quite done yet, but I wanted to give you an early access because you're a subscriber already. And if you're not, there's a button down below. You know what to do. This is a new set for 2025 where I'm going to be showing you a lot of the stuff that I do in here with my tools. I've done some tool stuff in my other studio, but I'm going to leave that one more for the tech. This is going to be for the tools, auto, and other cool stuff. But to do that, I need to upgrade a little bit. And the first product I'm going to be installing is this from Giraffe Tools. It's a new hose reel. I do a lot of work in this workshop already, and my hose reel up there has put some hours in. But it's honestly an actual hose reel, and it uses the advantage of these swirling connectors to make it work. Giraffe Tools is going to make this so much easier because this is a self-retracting hose reel. So when you're done, you just pull and it's going to retract. Now mine, I currently have to go up here and roll it and hope it doesn't get tangled and put it back. And it's kind of twice the size it needs to be and a little bit unsightly. So I'm going to go ahead and install this today. We're actually going to flip it onto the other side of the shop here, hidden by the TV and the logo. But I'm going to take you along for that journey, and it's the first video of 2025, so stick around. First things first, safety, and that requires safety glasses as well as some gloves here. I've been tearing up my hands recently. So now that I have those on, we can continue. A super quick trick to lining up the bolt holes on here is to take a piece of tape. Just any old tape, but painter's tape works pretty well. Put that tape across the holes. You don't have to do any measuring at all with this technique. And then make an impression. Either poke through that impression where you want it to be, or just to draw a circle where that's going to go. Now I can take that behind the TV over here, align where I want this to go up on the wall by just sticking it on here, and I know exactly where to drill. Now the same trick applies for your vertical measurement here. So I can take this up and down, put a little pressure on it, and know exactly how high I need to drill for the upper holes. Now with those 2 points in place, I have to find some bolts. So you want to make sure that they have thread all the way up to the head of the bolt here. So I'm going to go ahead and match up a drill bit that I think is going to be about the right size. And the way I do this is literally hold the drill bit behind and in front and make sure I just see the threads around the drill bit. Now if I see the shaft of the drill bit, I know something's wrong and I can go with a smaller one. If I don't see the threads and I see part of the shaft of the bolt, then I need to go up higher. But this is going to work out just perfect. Now we're not sponsored by Craftsman, but with all the tools you might think it. I'm going to go ahead and use a Craftsman V20 drill here. I'm not going to use an impact driver because drill bits are for drills. Now that I've got that, I can go ahead and remove the tape, and I've got my 3 markings. Now to get the perfect size for this bolt, I picked up a 60-piece Craftsman bit driver set. We're going to be testing this thing out, and we're going to be showing it in a later review. But the one thing I like about this is it has a bunch of different size drill bits. It's got a bunch of different size bit drivers. It even has a few different bolt drivers, which we're going to test out now. So I'm going to grab one of these bolts, and we're going to see that we just get lucky and it happens to fit one of the very first ones. I'm going to grab an extension, put it in our driver, and we're going to go install it. Now in this case, I will use an impact just because it makes it a little bit easier to drive these more quickly, and a little more power never hurts. Now I'm not going to drive that all the way because the Giraffe Tools hose reel will actually hook onto that. So I want to keep it a little bit offset. To gain access to the bolt holes, I'm actually going to have to reel some of this because when it's full, you don't have access to the top or the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and unreel some of this. Now this is 3/8 inch hose. If I was using an auto shop, maybe doing some painting tools or some high volume, I wouldn't use a 3/8 hose. I'd go to a 1/2 inch. But for woodworking, blowing things around, this is gonna be perfect. So this has an automatic braking feature. Now, you could actually install this two ways. You can install it vertically onto a ceiling, or you can install it horizontally like I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna go ahead and line it up with those bolts, and we're gonna tighten them down. So far, the Craftsman driver kit has had both sizes of bolts that I had here, 3/8 and a 1/2 inch. Now that project is complete, but I've got a ton more going on in here, and I'm getting it ready for you. It'll probably be a few more weeks until you see our first real show from the new studio. But I wanted to say Happy New Year, and I wanted to thank Giraffe Tools for making a hose reel that looks so much better and works so much better than my other one. It'll stay out of the way, nice and clean, and I can finally take this monstrosity down. Maybe I'll put a logo up there. What do you think? This can go back on the front of a house where it likely belongs.